starting November 19th through December 3rd, Vesper's host is getting double loot drops for encounters and activity completions. With that said, let's talk about the best way to farm this dungeon, trying to get whichever weapon you want, whether it's double drops for the first 2 encounters, or potentially quad drops for the last encounter. Now, going by Bungie's wording with activity completions, this means that potentially the Corrupted Puppeteer will drop 2 items for the actual encounter being completed, and then 2 more items for the activity being completed, for a grand total of 4. This will work out really well for people that want to farm out either the Auto, the Baton Energy GL, a chill inhibitor with Cascade Point bait and switch, or even just a better version of the Envious Arsenal bait and switch roll that Banshee will be giving out. With that said, let's just dive into each encounter and how you can optimize this to speed up your farming process. Alright, let's get started. So, for this first encounter, normally it's pretty easy. It's a little tedious, but it's pretty damn easy. Now, on the 19th, if Bungie does not patch the cheats for this encounter, that makes this so much easier and so much smoother. What you need to do to speed things up in this encounter is going to be the following. Bring a character with either Salvation's Grip, or if you're on a Titan, bring an Eager Edge Sword and equip Thunder Crash. What you're going to do is you're going to jump over to this corner, and then jump up a little bit higher, and in this wall section, you're going to crawl into this corner, and then bang, you're basically in. This is your out of bounds. From this point, you just go forward from here. You don't need the sword skate there. You can just jump normally if you'd like. That's just me speeding things up. You're going to crawl over here, then go a little bit forward again, and then one more time, you go forward, and then turn the corner to the left right here. After that, you go to this little intersection, and the first thing you're going to want to do at this checkpoint is crawl under here and make sure you're under the roofing. Once you are, take out your Eager Sword, swipe forward. Bang, you're in. Next part after that is make sure you're standing on this beam. Once you are, crawl a little bit to the left and then crawl forward, and it'll kind of nudge you into the next section. So this part right here is why you would normally have Salvation's Grip. You would make a crystal and then jump into this vent section, which you normally cannot do because your body frame is too big. But Thunder Crash does not care about this, so you just do this. Bang, you're in. No Salvation's Grip nonsense needed. Once you're in, crawl to this section of the vent, and then to the right, you're going to crawl down, crouch here, go under the pipe, and bang, you're in. Now, the last part of this is going to be you just doing the maze, quote-unquote, normally, where you would dunk 3 nukes. Why 3? Because the first encounter requires you to dunk 3 nukes. So, you're going to get into this door as normal, like you would, and if the captain's still there, you kill him and you start your 3 nuke pattern. If not, don't worry about it. All you got to do is just close this door, open this one, and then go over there in that section by nuke 3, the dunk station, and the captain will be over there. Then you just start from here, and what you're going to do is kill him and then take the ball over to the first site, which would normally be over here, straight ahead at that door. And then you complete the other 2 as normal. I'm going to go dunk the ball in this room. The captain will spawn. Then I'm going to go take the ball into that room by the boss there. Don't kill me. No, thank you. Okay. And then from that room, the 3rd captain spawns in, and you take it to the final dunk site. So let me cut to that. Okay, so I'm in nuke room 2. I'm killing the 3rd captain. At this point, your plan is going to be pick it up, alert your teammates that you're going to start walking out this door, and then you're going to go to dunk zone 3. Now, when you dunk it, you tell your teammates, start it, and then as you say that, you're going to kill yourself. The reason for this is you're going to dunk it, so the game will think, oh, you just completed 3 dunks, so now you start the encounter, and the game will auto-teleport your dead body to the beginning, then it'll respawn you because the encounter is completed, quote-unquote, and then you loot the chest along with your teammate who just did literally nothing other than press a button when you told them to. So you pick up the loot, and then you reload the instance, rinse, repeat, free loot. Takes about maybe 2 minutes. When you're going full speed and not actually explaining how to do this, that is. On to encounter 2. So there's a few points to make about this encounter. This is specifically if you want to try to farm both Chill Inhibitor and the Auto Rifle from this dungeon. Both are solid weapons. Obviously, Chill Inhibitor is much more coveted, but the AR is actually pretty solid on its own as well. This boss really is going to be here only if you don't want to farm the final boss, or you can't stomach it, or you can't one-phase it. Then you can settle on this boss and farming both Chill and the AR at the same time. If you care about only Chill, then you just go back to the first encounter and you can farm that plus the Velocity Baton, which also is a solid weapon, but not the Fusion. The Fusion sucks. Now, if you did settle on farming the first boss outright, I can just tell you immediately, Hunters, this is not the encounter for you. Not only is your best arsenal for this encounter disabled, that being Tether, and it looks like it's not going to get patched and fixed for at least a couple more weeks, Also, ignitions are supposed to get fixed, but maybe they won't get fixed. You never know with these patch notes. Also, Titans are incredibly stupid for this encounter, so recommending anything but Titans is just kind of throwing. You could swap in maybe one Warlock, because you don't want to just have 3 Titans with, like, no well or whatever, or maybe you want to throw a Nova Bomb. But ideally, if you want to have a perfect run and consistently try to one-phase this boss, then your best bet is at least 2 Prismatic Titans. Titans have actually 2 ways they can nuke this boss in terms of abilities. Number 1 is going to be just slamming Behemoth non-stop as soon as you pop your super until all the balls explode. Wow, that sounds so weird out of context. The other one is going to be utilizing Thunder Crash. What you're going to do basically is use Curus of Falling Star and juice it up between Curus plus the tonic system, which allows you to get more arc damage if you have a darkness debuff on an enemy, in this case, something like your Stasis Glacial Grenade. You T-Crash them, and then from that point, you use one of your heavy shots. You could use either Parasite or Wardcliff, or even Dimensional Hypertracheoid, I think it's called, the Wayframe GL. Any of those are fine, and then from there on, you just slam Consecration with Prismatic as many times as you can until the boss is either dead, or you go to the next phase. Now, some people might be thinking, wait, why don't you just use 3 Warcliffs? That can actually one-phase this boss. True, except for the fact that half the time, it'll softlock the encounter, and you can't complete it, you get no loot, and you have to go back to orbit and restart. So for that reason, I don't recommend just outright using only Warcliffe on the boss and trying to one-phase that way. Also, keep in mind, somebody should be on debuff duty for this encounter. Whether it's on Lost Signal, or Velocity Baton through Concussive Reload, or just straight up using Tractor Cannon, somebody should debuff the boss, or bosses, I guess, when they split, before initially going into your T-Crash, or your Behemoth, or whatever you want to use. If done right, you will either consistently one-phase, or you will very, very comfortably two-phase this boss with little to no effort. Alright, now we're on the main event. So, this is going to depend largely on Bungie's writing of what is supposed to happen on the 19th. By the way, pre-recorded before the 19th, in case I didn't state that already. So, Corrupted Puppeteer is supposed to have 4 drops. The reason I'm saying this is because in the information that Bungie dropped, it said you get double drops from encounters and activity completions. Well, Puppeteer normally drops 2 drops, right? If double drops are going to get turned on for activity completions, then that should equal 4 drops from Atrax. Now the question from there becomes, well, you could get 4 drops, but can you beat it fast enough to the point where you're getting 4 drops faster in this final boss than I would be getting by doing 2 first encounters or 2 second encounters? And the answer to that is a resounding absolutely you can. Now, I'll explain the gameplay loop and how you should set up your damage phase against this boss in a second, but let me tell you first on what you should bring and use for this boss. If you're a Hunter, you're bringing Nighthawk. If you're a Titan, you're bringing Thunder Crash. And if you're a Warlock, you're bringing Well of Radiance and swapping to Arc Prismatic after popping Well. I'll explain that in a second. Now, here's a crucial one. You want to bring 2 pairs of boots to this boss fight. The reason you want to bring 2 is because 1 will have your surges on it, so for example, triple arc surge. The other pair of boots, however, will have the regen mods in them instead, like Better Already, for example. The reason for this is because if you wear this, plus something like Special Finisher in your class item, you can build up your surges, or your armor charges in this case, and have them maxed out at 3 the entire time. And the reason this is crucial is because you guarantee yourself to have 3 armor charges live for your weapon surges as you're going up the elevator in the boss fight. You simply just swap off the regen boots as you're going up in the elevator, and you're golden. You don't have to worry about somebody popping well, and then dropping the orbs, and then the orbs fall off the tankers. You have to chase them down, and if you chase them down, you might get hit by lightning, yada yada. And of course, assuming Bungie does nothing to this strategy, you would stand on that little tankard by Atrax and hopefully not get hit by any lightning. Occasionally somebody might get hit by it and die. That's totally fine. Most of the time, your team should be fine. Now, with that out of the way, let me introduce you to my good friend, Grand Overture. Grand Overture is going to be stuffing the Corrupted Puppeteer into a locker every day and every night for the duration of this double and quad drop event. I'm not kidding when I say this weapon makes this boss fight an absolute joke to one face. Now, for those of you that don't know, Grand Overture actually got significantly better this particular episode, and in before, that one guy hits me with the, Sneak, actually, they didn't change Grand Overture at all. It's exactly the same how it's always been. Yeah, I didn't say they buffed Grand Overture, I said it got better. Let me explain. This episode, we have Concussive Reload, which automatically reloads our stowed weapons instantly. The one major flaw in Grand Overture is that it's insane in burst damage potential, but after that, when you have to manually reload, it sucks to just stand there and reload and waste time in a damage phase where you could be damaging the boss instead. And that was the one glaring issue unless you had some sort of auto-reload mechanic. But Titans just don't have that, and Warlocks, trust me, you're not going to be sitting on Rain of Fire for this damage phase. You're going to be on Sanguine Alchemy. Which, by the way, is the second reason why Grand Overture is even more nutty this particular episode. For those that don't know, Sanguine Alchemy got a bit of a buff, where now it's an X4 weapon surge to whatever element that you want, and also it can mark and weaken targets for you to do more damage to that target. So remember when I mentioned you would pop well and then swap to Prismatic Arc Warlock? This is it. This is why. Sanguine Alchemy does not care what super you just used. All it cares about is that what super you are currently on. So when you pop well and you switch to Arc, you suddenly have X4 weapon surge for Arc, and now your Grand Overture is gonna go nuts. Genuinely, with 3 Grand Overtures, you can straight up kill the Corrupted Puppeteer before she even sends out the flare gun for you to get the nuke and go into the safety room. But even if you don't play perfectly, and let's say one person dies at some point and you have to use the nuke protection room, that's totally fine, because by the time you do have to use that room, her health will be like 20%, 25%, maybe. Easily getting the one phase and getting your quad loot drops, hopefully. Feel free to ask in the comments if I happen to have missed anything. Also, I'll be doing live runs with viewers on stream, twitch.tv/SneakyBeaver in case anybody's interested. So stop by, you never know, maybe you get a run-in. In the meantime, if you did enjoy the video, please consider subscribing today. It does help the channel grow and is much appreciated. And if you want to go the extra mile, you can leave a like and or comment below as well. If you don't know what to comment, you can leave Vesper's host as the comment. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.